Can you feel it? It's ticking down the waning moments of the 2024 NFL Draft. Welcome back to RGR Football. Thank you for being with us all weekend long. I don't want to say that now before we get started here. Epic weekend for us in the number of unique people that have seen this channel. I appreciate you guys being here. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. Couldn't get it done without you guys. So, Chiefs are on the clock here coming up in a couple of picks. We just wanted to run down who's left, who's looking good. So, before we get into questions, and we'll try to take some of those as well, make sure you check out everything Dan's doing on the Cover One Draft podcast, over on Fantasy, on Football Guys, as well as everything here and on NFL 33. A lot of irons in the fire. I think you officially have more things going than me at this point, so well done.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't do a podcast every single day, so we're trying to avoid that.
Right. There is that. And yes, I'll be on Locked On Chiefs for the wrap-up of today later tonight, folks. Before they get to it, before I keep prattling on, I'll go from there.
Sorry, you stopped, you cut right off in the middle, and I have no idea what you said.
Let's run down who's on your board that's still there.
All right, sounds good. So we know Gabe Hall is there. He's listed as an edge for Baylor, but we would probably want to see him play interior defensive line. I don't believe Leonard Taylor has been drafted still. And if he hasn't, that's another player that would be on the Chiefs board. I think he makes sense from a physicality standpoint. Again, good first step. He's long, and outside of this past year, I know the medicals are why he's falling. So this past year wasn't his best year either. So those are guys we're looking at for the defensive line. I like Nelson Cesar personally. I haven't seen him drafted. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not keeping up on that. Did you happen to see the other Washington defensive end get drafted? Tupaloa Fatui?
Yeah. DTF? No, he has not been. From what I'm hearing before the draft started is he's likely to be a UDFA because he's just inconsistent when he does show up.
Okay. I guess that's a miss on my board for sure then. But running back, sure. Running back here, there's three guys left that we have as draftable in Cody Schrader and Frank Gore Jr. and Dylan Johnson. And those are the three guys literally left on my board. Everybody else has been drafted. So I expect at least one of those guys to go off the board here in the 7th round. But what about you?
I agree with you completely on the running backs. I still have Rosemy Jackson from Georgia as a draftable wide receiver, 6th round grade, as well as Jalen Coker right here at the end of the 7th. So those are two options. I have Dallin Holker, obviously Westover, and I would even take a flyer on Devin Colt from UW because he's got athleticism that you might be able to grab on. Chiefs aren't going to go for a tight end here anymore, but I do think that they're available. Theo Benedict, that's the Canadian tackle that I was talking about. He's still there. I had draftable grades on Garrett Greenfield. I don't think he's been selected. And my last one by the hair of his chinny chin was Frank Crum. I think I'm going to be wrong on that.
Honestly, watching him at the combine, he was extremely athletic. He looked good in the movement drills. So I'm a little confused on that one. But the Chiefs pick is in, so we're going to find out who it is. And yes, Blake Watson is the other running back that should be on my board, but he's not. That was an oversight on my part.
And speaking of, as I just said his name, I would take a flyer on Devin Colt. He was just selected by the Washington Commanders. So he did go. My guy Westover is still out there. Might be a guy for a UDFA slot.
I don't know. We're just going to wait and see, guys. This is the very last pick of the Chiefs NFL draft.
Yeah, here we go. It is on the board, and it comes in, and it is my guy, C.J. Hansen, the interior offensive lineman from Holy Cross, one of the best athletes in this class. Yes, he's going to have to deal with a giant jump in terms of competition. I love this pick, especially here at the 7th. I had him a whole 2 rounds higher at the bottom of the 5th.
I'll be very honest with you. It's underwhelming considering the needs at defensive line. They drafted an interior player already. I understand that you're going for the future, and trust me, I get that. You're trying to get someone with upside. You don't have a defensive lineman in the building next year. Again, this might speak to something that we don't know about, right? Maybe they're extremely high on Bugs and Farrell this year. I don't know. All I know is they signed 1-year contracts with, once again, going to Derek Nottie and Tershawn Wharton back again. And there's just not enough there for me, personally.
Yeah.
So I get this is 100% a Chiefs kind of pick. The 7th round, let's get an athletic dude with upside and see what we can get out of him. So I understand it from that perspective, especially considering this is a move because they're not going to have Trey Smith. You guys, they're telling us Trey Smith is not going to be on the roster after this year. They're telling you right now, based off of what they've done. So get ready for it.
In one class. Yeah. And honestly, they're preparing for, is this the cliff for Joe Thuney? Now that he's had one injury, they're future-proofing themselves against that as well. So I'll take it. I'm very excited about him, and I'm glad, Jeremy, that you noticed. And Minotaur, thank you. I appreciate that. Not a bad day out. And Haddon, again, was only off of our boards because of the injury. So I think we're pretty good there as well. That said, back to what you were mentioning before, I do expect either Gabe Hall or Fabian Lovett or both to be high-end UDFA signings here tonight.
For sure. And I want to see the medicals on Leonard Taylor. We don't really know what's happened there. And that's, I don't really understand the fall and not being drafted, unless I just missed it. Maybe he went and I just missed it, but I don't think he is. And at the end of the day, we kind of expected this draft was going to be offensive focused. Outside of the 2 DBs that they drafted, it's all offensive players. Would I have liked to see them double dip at wide receiver? Yes, but this also is decent sign that they believe that we're going to get something out of Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney. I would have preferred to see them add to it and force them to, maybe show up a little bit more. Maybe they have something else in Nico Remigio, who, again, maybe he's going to be part of this return roster or something. But obviously Xavier Worthy's here. Maybe they want Wiley to be more involved early. So I don't know. There's a lot to go on here. We're going to see OTAs and stuff like that begin to start. Rookie minicamp is, I believe, next week. So I'm excited to see what happens there.
I'm with you. And Chris, thank you for the kind words and for being one of our members for so long. I appreciate, we try to do our best for you on these weekends. I think we really enjoyed being together in the same room last year.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year we stepped up our game in being prepared and being able to cover everything, not just the Chiefs picks for you. And so I hope that doesn't bother you guys. We'll try to get back together in the same room again, but I feel, Dan, this was your best draft cycle yet. And we got it done in I think, an even better way than we have in the past.
It definitely felt that way for me. Like, this was not just a better, I think I really stepped up what knowledge I know about the draft, how I was able to cover it and get you guys the best information. And really, I got out ahead of a lot of these guys that the Chiefs drafted. I've seen most of them, if just maybe not the Holy Cross guy. I've seen, right. At least I've seen the Tennessee cornerback in passing. I didn't study him, but I've seen him. So I definitely feel like I got eyes on a lot more players this year. So at the end of the day, I think we did a collective unit. Like, hats off to everybody, EJ, and you, obviously, for putting the whole draft guide together. Like, don't leave Ryan out. He's got the whole Jeff. I was about to say Jeff with the stats and this was a real team effort. And next year, hopefully, we don't have to do 5 positions for a person because I did 5 positions this year. And I'll be very honest, it was stressful as hell, but it was fantastic.
Well, I'm glad that you were here for it yet again. And we're just going to increase the team, make our lives a little easier next year. We keep saying that, but Addicted. Are you surprised as much as I am that they didn't draft a second receiver? I am a bit. But it does feel, again, because of the depth of this class, There's going to be UDFAs. They do have them every year. And let's be real. If they feel Remigio is going to be able to produce, and you have KT and Sky and Justin Watson, if you added Hollywood and now you've added Worthy, like there's not enough slots on the roster right now. Justin Ross is right now a possibility to not make this roster.
Correct.
Maybe that's what it is the numbers are just they went with volume last year, and now they're like, we're gonna do this to take the whole group up a bit. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, maybe. But again, you guys know how I feel about Sky Moore. I think in the correct role, he could still be impactful. And I know that they really did a bad job of showcasing what he can actually do last year. It was a really poor effort from the Chiefs' entire team on their wide receiver part. So you don't have MVS. You're not going to have Rashee Rice for at least, I would imagine some games here and there, but that's something that they have to take into consideration as well. You can't just put a bunch of guys, draft a bunch of guys, and then have to cut them anyway when Rashee Rice comes back and things like that. So I understand it. I would have preferred them double dip, but at the end of the day, I do think they went BPA on their board in day 3. And I'm not going to really argue too much with that.
No, and I'm not either. Thank you, DC. Thank you, Brandon. Doc, thank you. Chief Leaf, appreciate you as always. We'll take a breather. I guarantee you, we're gonna need it. Like I said, we have content ready for you tomorrow, but we will not be live. We're gonna be tired. So, Tracy, thank you. We really appreciate you, and you are one of the diehards, and we love having you around. Thank you very much. Along with you, Terry, as well. Been here forever, and I appreciate that. This is a great idea, James. The guys currently are going to be probably in rehab starting tomorrow, or at least going through withdrawals. So, it's been pretty fun, it looks like, over at the holiday sector here. Dan's going tomorrow. He'll see the guys in person. Maybe you guys can take a little clip for us and say hi to everybody. But yeah, it's been great, and I really appreciate you guys embracing when we cross over with them as much as you have. Deborah, thank you. Oh,
thank you,
Dub Freak. You're back again, brother. Dang.
Again, you need to get some. You can get some sleep just as much as we do, man. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. I think you might be more wore out than me. Oh, Frank, I like the way you put this.
They drafted 900 pounds of offense. There we go. That's right.
Yep.
Love it.
DC, this is pretty normal. They let the legal process go out and see what the facts are, because law enforcement's going to be able to investigate better than they can. So I think they let the law enforcement in general do their job for them, and they react accordingly. Yeah, I think we do. I need to get out of the basement as well.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
We're not the only ones, Penelope, Roberto. So just remember that.
True. Sugary, nice to see you. Thanks for always being here. Appreciate you very much. Matthias, always thank you.
Thank you, Matthias.
Yeah, I very much appreciate you and everyone who supported us this weekend and supports us all the time. We definitely appreciate it. I feel like this is just what I feel has been a great one. We're not seeing any of the running backs go after the Chiefs select. So all your hopes and dreams for running back are still on the table for UDFAs.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to let it go tomorrow. Monday night, we'll cover all your questions about the UDFA class, everything that went down beyond. And I think as we go through, we're just going to sit back and appreciate that we made it through another cycle, and probably our most accurate in terms of what the Chiefs wanted to do to this date. So kudos to you, Dan.
It's not just you, it's all of us. Like, we did this together. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without Jeff. I couldn't have done it without EJ. Like, this was not a one-person show. It never will be. And at the end of the day, we make each other better. And you guys are the reason that we continue to get better and want to bring you the best content, because we want you guys to learn. And that's why you're here. We have the best fan base because we don't tie ourselves to the slapstick or the craziness or the takes. We give you honest opinions. We try and bring in people that want to learn, and we want to learn. You guys want to learn. That's what makes this partnership and this amazing experience what it is. So hats off to you guys again. for continuously being out there for us and supporting us and allowing us and affording us the opportunity to get better at what we do.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it without you guys. And like I said, we're going to have rundowns. I will probably do something special and clip together all of our actual reactions to picks. So we have one giant takeaway from the draft. We'll post that later in the week. Ton of stuff coming. Get ready for the UDFAs. Last 5 picks are coming, and there goes Harrell. I've been waiting for him to go. He's one of the last guys on my board that hasn't been drafted yet. So let's go get it.
Both the Michigan guys back-to-back, Jalen Harrell to Tennessee and Cornelius Johnson to the Chargers. Shocker. He wants his Michigan, man.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise us at all. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your evening, and look for the stuff that's coming on everything else starting tonight, tomorrow. And check out NFL 33 too. We're going to break down our takes, and we have some other guys that are contributing over there as well.
Yes.
Lot more to come, except Addicted just threw a question at the last second, of course. One last thing. Dan and Ryan, you guys need a raise for what you do. Our 10-time Super Bowl champs. Hey, if we could get to 4, I'd be super happy. I mean,
yeah, right. What
parting thought on this draft, Daniel, for you and I, for me to have begun this channel in 2018, just before the first Super Bowl, and for us to have come together and formed a team here, we're living in the golden age of Chiefs football. No matter what happens next, this has been lightning in a bottle the last 5 years, and it's only going to go on from here.
It's amazing. I still can't believe it. You know, I people always say that I became a Chiefs fan because of Mahomes, or I started covering it because of Mahomes. It's not true. It really isn't. I didn't know anything about Patrick Mahomes when he got drafted. I didn't know much about what I know now. So like, this has been, I didn't know this was going to happen when I started learning and wanting to do all of this. So the simple fact that it happened is like the most incredible experience ever, because the team is getting better. You're learning more about the game, and they keep winning. They keep winning. They've been to 4 Super Bowls. They've won 3 of them, and we're watching this. We're covering it. It's an incredible experience. Like, I can't even put into words what this last, we've been together for 5 years now, what this last 5 years have been.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it just keeps going. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you again. And RW, I appreciate that. Canyon Creek Band, we are playing some gigs this summer. We'll be around the Southwest on a couple of trips out here. So if you happen to be in the area, Arizona, New Mexico, we might even get into Vegas here, folks. We'll see what life looks like from the stages in Vegas. So have a great one. We'll enjoy your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.